Well, it's Tech for Hire. I believe he's going to bore us again with his bullshit.
Tech for Hire here. Guess what I'm going to do today? That's right, X-Pipe time. On the 2017 Triumph Bobber, that's what we're going to do. It's still a little hot, pretty humid, but it's better than it has been. It's actually doable. I can actually get it done today and probably not faint and die. One thing though is I plan on having several fans running because I have no air conditioning in my garage, as most people don't. So I need something to circulate some air, otherwise it's going to be a swampy mess. I will link a description to the Freespirits YouTube video. On that video they show you the step-by-step instructions on how to install this puppy. I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'm tired of sitting on my ass. I want to get this done. I want to hear it, so I'm just going to do it. But if there's some things that I come upon that I think you should know, I will definitely do that. Any questions, comments, hit me up down below. Okay, so a quick overview before I tear this thing apart. It looks like the other video that I've linked in the description is on a T120. So the bobber is just slightly different. So I wanted to show you what the differences are. First of all, you have this shield right here. On the T120, you have a bolt that's pretty much here and a bolt that's here. Well, it looks like this one you just unscrew here, and there's a little push connector that keeps it locked into this area. So you should be able to do this, pull it out, and you have access. Also, on the rear portion of the muffler, there appears to be a single bolt. You unscrew this one, this whole piece should slide out. Everything else looks pretty easy. There's two Allen screws here that I should be able to take out. It looks pretty easy. The only hard part is if you can see in here, there's a bolt right back here that looks like it's going to be kind of hard to get to, and I think that's why they want you to pull this whole frame rail out. We'll just wait and see if I actually have to pull that out or not. But everything else you have, you're gonna have to pull this little shield off, which looks like it attaches this frame rail to that frame rail. Pull this out so you have better access here. You got a bolt. Remove the cat heat shield here. You got your connectors that the couplers that hold on the exhaust to the catalytic converter right here. So you got a connector here and a connector just on the other side. So you'll undo those. It looks like it's gonna be fairly easy. I'm gonna try to do it with removing the minimal bolts as possible. That way it's easier to put back together and whatnot. Before we get too excited, let me give you a rundown on the bolts that you're gonna need and the sizes, okay? Let's make it easy. This one is going to be a 12mm socket, or a wrench if you want to. This bolt up here, if we actually utilize it, is going to be a T55 star. Fits in there nicely. These here are going to be 8mm. This one is going to be, I had it in my hand, 5mm. This one's 5mm. This bolt here is 12mm, has a little dimple in it. These are 10mm, if you can see that. The bolt that's inside here all the way back there, that one is 12mm as well. 12mm, 12mm, 12mm. This one is 12mm. This one is 14mm. This is 5mm. So, and I believe that bolt, this bolt right back here, that one's 12mm as well. So those are pretty much all of the bolts that you're going to have to be taking off. Now, if for some reason you do have to remove your shifter linkage, just remember that this little guy right here, that one's 8mm. So you pull this off, undo these two, and then that whole piece will slide out. The only reason why I would think you would need to do that is to get to that bolt right there, but we're not going to know for sure until I have to tear this whole puppy apart. Again, I'm trying to do the minimalist method, which is do as little as possible to get the job done. So I'm really going to try to avoid tearing this whole thing apart, but we're not going to know until we try. Alrighty. So that puppy goes on. It does look like you're actually going to have to remove and loosen up the whole shifter mechanism, mainly because the little bolts that hold the cat onto these pipes, you can't actually get to the little screws. So you're going to have to do all this just to take that stupid thing off. So just be forewarned. This is the back part of the frame rail, and you're actually going to have to remove this. Since you got to take the frame rail off, you're going to have to take this puppy out as well. And this is 8mm. This is the back piece to that. And the bike appears to be leaking some oil. I would think on a new bike it would not do that, but this is a Triumph, and they are known to do that. So don't be afraid. Okay, so I do not have to take this bolt off. Hopefully you guys can see. I don't have to take this bolt off. I need to take these two off, which loosens up this frame rail here. I will have to loosen this one up. We'll see what other items needs to come apart so that I can just have enough wiggle room to get in there and pull this up. Back side. And it is 17mm. I don't want to totally loosen it or take it off, but just give it a little bit so it gives it a little bit of play. Okay. Alright, so next piece, I'm going to take this off. Another one of these puppies. Looks exactly the same as the other one. Alright, so let's undo these 12mm bolts holding the frame rails together. together. If you took this bike on a ride, I would definitely not recommend doing this because you are touching a lot of parts that would be very, very hot. What I'm doing, and you'll find this, it's always been something that works for me, but as you're tearing things apart, if you can kind of put them back together a little bit, you'll remember how they went together. And if you can at all put the bolts back on it, you'll never get confused which bolts went where. So, kind of easy. All right. That's definitely loose now. Now, I shouldn't have to take this whole thing apart. I just need to loosen all that stuff so I can get this out from underneath it. So let's go with the 10mm ratchet. Now, this one appears to not want to come off, and I don't want to strip it. So I'm going to put some liquid wrench on there and let that set for a little bit. Hopefully it'll loosen it up, and that way I don't have to strip one of these clamps, for which I do not have a replacement. But, I mean, what do you know, it just came off. Let me loosen this thing up and take a peek. Realistically, I don't have to take it off. I would just feel more comfortable knowing that it's fully secured on there. But, I mean, it's not coming off. So, I'm not going to waste my time with it. I just need to loosen it anyways to get this pipe off. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to worry about it. Out of the way. See, this is kind of hanging by this cord. I don't like that it's doing that, but kind of need it to be out of the way, so I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna leave it slightly tight in there. Or I should say just barely connected, because I don't want to pull it out all the way yet, because I have to get these other connections out too. Yeah, that one's welded on there. So you're not going to need the 14mm, you're just going to need the 12mm on the other side, because the 14mm nut is actually welded on there. We gotta see if we can get this puppy to disconnect on the other side. So it appears my GoPro has died. It's super hot in here, and this thing got super toasty, and the battery started to bulge. So I have this extended battery pack on it, which says it has 3/4 of juice left, but it refuses to turn on. So I think it's because it's so hot in here. This thing's been acting up for a while, and I've wanted to replace it. But like I mentioned before, the reason why I haven't was the Bluetooth battery pack that I have when I do my video blogs, my moto vlogs. So needless to say, I have to take the battery out, let this thing fully cool down. Maybe the battery will work after it cools down. I don't know. So I think I'm probably not going to be able to do the rest of this video, this install. But I would like to note, I mean, you guys got the gist. I mean, this thing's almost done. All I have to do is pull it out, put the new one in. One thing that I wanted to mention is you don't have to undo the other side, the other frame rail. I was able to get to both of the clamps that hold on the Cat simply by using one 12 millimeter long socket for the rear, and then for the front I used a 10 millimeter. Just got up in there, was able to loosen it up, pull it right out. So again, I'm almost done. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with holding my phone and doing this at the same time. It really sucks. Now I got to look into possibly getting another GoPro because this one's freaking dying on me. I've had it for 5-6 years, so you know it's lasted a long time, but it's definitely on its last leg. So any case, I will do a whole wrap up, put everything together, and I will definitely let you hear what this thing sounds like. Okay? See you soon. Okay, here you go. The unit is out now. It is actually a pretty heavy unit. I mean, it's a good 5-10 pounds. I mean, it's pretty darn hefty. As you may or may not have seen from other videos, you're going to have to remove the grommet as I did here and put it onto the new one. There's also this piece here which you're going to have to put onto the front. That is for the heat shield. Also on the bottom for these little feet, there's some little rubber pieces that came off the factory one. You just take these and put them on here. That way the heat shield is going to fit a little bit nicer. I did actually, I lied a little bit. I did have to loosen the other exhaust header pipe because I couldn't get it out of this piece here. There just wasn't enough room. So I loosened it up at the top, didn't take anything else off other than the heat shield on the other side, and then I was able to jigger it loose. So now I'm going to reverse everything that you just saw and put it back together. All right, baby. All right, baby. I am all done. I have a bit of a concern because I have this little grommet. I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I've looked all over. I double checked everything. It could have just been on the ground and I didn't notice it and I just see it there. I don't know. Anyways, I have an extra piece, but I'm gonna do the startup. I'm all done. So this is gonna be the first time me hearing it. So let's get this puppy started. There you have it. The bike is done. It's got a good sound to it. It's a little low, a little rumbly, but I did notice it has kind of like a I don't know how to explain it, like a tingy sound to it. If you've ever had an exhaust system or a muffler that's really thin metal, you kind of have that sound. You kind of get that in this one. I'm wondering if once you break it in, if that'll kind of go away. Doesn't seem to backfire. Took it around the block real quick. Doesn't seem to backfire. Doesn't seem to do anything but give it a low grumble. It's pretty close to stock, but you do feel the performance difference. It does have a lot more get up and go. There you have it, folks. It's done. It's been one of those projects that I've been waiting to do for quite a while, and I finally got some time to do it. The weather permitted. You know, as you can see, I'm all glistening because it's so freaking hot in here. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. Keep updated on all the new videos that I'm gonna send out. And if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. Today is a different day. I have the GoPro finally cooled down. Now we're going to try to listen to the audio of this bike. So hold on one second. Sorry. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to subscribe down below. Click on any one of the links for some other videos. You can see what I've been up to. If you have any questions, just click away.